Hey team, welcome back to another episode of On the Couch. Today I am joined by the gorgeous Amy from the band Shepard. So, as usual, I'm going to start by asking her one of the things that she is digging lately or something that she's into. So, something that I am into at the moment is this new app that I have called Primal Fenix from this guy called the Health and Fitness Guy. He's a really dear friend of mine and he's just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. But what I love about his app is it's a fitness-based app, but you can choose the amount of time you have and it will create a workout for you.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go, I have got 15 minutes, spit me out a workout.
Cool.
And it will give you a workout that's completely body weight based. You can do it in, a 2-meter space. It's awesome. You can choose kettlebell workouts and things like that as well. But that's what I'm digging at the moment because I'm finding that I'm really shit at getting in. I'm really shit at getting to the gym lately.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it really hard to, a lot of online programs, I feel like it's an hour commitment or something like that. And if I've only got 20 minutes, I feel like I'm failing. Like I feel like I'm not actually going to finish this, and is there any point in even starting? So that's what I'm digging lately.
Oh, I love that. I need that for travel. I should download
It is perfect for traveling. Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you can do it in the space of like a hotel room. It's really good. It's great for FIFO workers as well because it's just so, they can do it in a tiny, room. They can do it without any equipment.
Yeah.
It's really, it's awesome.
I've done that a couple of workouts with my mini suitcase, like just squats and lunges.
I know, you do what you can do.
You've got to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're traveling, there's nothing worse than that feeling of just not getting in your movement. And you just, because you're eating out pretty much all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes hotel room workouts are better than actually going to the hotel gym because sometimes the gyms are like this big, can't swing a cat, and then there's like one bike which is always being used and one treadmill which is always being used.
Absolutely.
So hotel rooms are often better than the gyms.
Absolutely. And you could be in your pajamas.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a total win. So what are you digging lately?
So I'm so into podcasts, of course, because I travel a lot and I like to learn when I'm just doing mundane tasks like cooking or whatever it might be, cleaning. So I'm loving Mia Friedman's podcast at the moment.
Mamma Mia?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very popular, but
I've never listened to it.
It's really good, and she talks to really interesting people, and I'm really into it at the moment.
Cool. Any other podcasts that you love?
I love the ATP project.
Me too.
It's great. It's all about like health and hacking, biohacking, and all that, which is really interesting to me. And of course, I went and bought all the products. I'm obsessed with it.
As you do.
Yeah. So they're the two that I really keep up to date with.
Have you tried their new collagen bars?
I have.
Do you like them?
There's one I'm not too keen on, which is like the chocolatey flavour.
Yeah.
But I had I think it was like pineapple, or it was like a citrusy type.
There's like a lemon curd and a banana or something, I think.
It was the lemon curd, and that was alright, but it wasn't like sweet or anything. It just tastes like you're eating nothing.
I just found the texture super weird. I think because I wasn't expecting that texture, and then when I got to it, I was like,
huh?
I don't understand. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I don't recommend the chocolatey one, but the lemon one is just like, it just doesn't taste like anything, which is great for like before training, I guess, because I do feel a bit sick when I eat anything and I train, so I was thinking of buying a box.
Awesome, thank you. Another great podcast that I love is The Drive by Peter Attia. He's a super interesting bloke. He's American, but his whole jam is around longevity and increasing longevity through whatever it is. He's really big into sleep. Yeah. He did this incredible sleep podcast that goes for like 7.5 hours. And he breaks it down into 3 different podcasts, but he interviews some super interesting people all around the topic of longevity and how we optimize longevity in our life. So he's a really interesting one too.
Wow.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
So what I would love you to start off by telling us is, you are obviously part of a band, Shepard.
I am.
How did that start? Because I'm one of 5 kids, and look, I mean, we probably could have started a band because the amount of choreography and dance parties and fuck, my parents and aunties and uncles and anybody who sat still in our house at any point in time
had to watch a concert.
Yeah. So look, I'm surprised that we don't have a band. But
we
is
just
that
took it to that next level?
Exactly. But is that how Shepard started? Because I'm pretty much that's what I'm picturing.
Not really.
Right.
We didn't start until we were adults, actually. But although we were influenced by music from a really young age, and of course my sister and I would do like dance concerts, my parents, like most kids do, I guess.
Yeah.
And we learned piano and guitar from a young age as well. So I think that definitely helped. But my guitar teacher back home in PNG was actually a member of Yothu Yindi, and this amazing session musician. He had all these stories of going on tour, and like he would tour with Janet Jackson, and he's toured with Madonna. And so hearing these stories was just like, I need this life. I need to be a pop star. So that's where it all began. Yeah. And I found one of my dad's. He had tried to learn guitar like years and years ago, and I found it deep within the attic or whatever it was, deep within the storage cupboard. And it had like 2 strings, and I would just like try and play it. And then,
strumming 2 strings.
Yeah, Dad eventually ended up getting it fixed for me to learn. And since the age of about 10, I've been trying to strive for this career in music. And it wasn't until I went to TAFE after school, because I didn't want to go to uni. I just didn't know what I wanted to do aside from music. So I decided instead of having a gap year, I would go to TAFE and do a bit of music study just to see if, dip my toes in, see if that's what I want to do at uni. And it really changed my life that year at TAFE, because they taught you how to do like marketing and producing, songwriting, performing, everything. And it was just like right up my alley, obviously. Yeah. And one of the assignments was to write a song, record it and produce it and market the whole, 5-track EP. So of course I left to the last minute, and
standard.
Yep. I was one of those kids. And George was in town because he was living in Sydney at the time, and I was like, George, help me, like, can you sing harmonies on this track, because it's so boring and I'm just in a rush. And so he started singing, and it was just like, oh my god, you have a voice of an angel, what the hell, you can sing? And he's like, yeah, let me just add some keys on it, and started playing, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I strive my whole life to be as good as you, and you just like come along. And he was amazing. So from that moment on, we just continued to write and record, and we just, it was like a snowball effect. We just kept pushing forward and adding members. And, my sister was actually one of the last members to join the band. She was still in school, and then
Was it one of those situations where, you got everyone else in your family doing shit, and your mum and dad were like, you're leaving your sister out now, so she's got to be part of the band. Stop being mean to your sister.
Yeah, well, she was like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I'm about to finish school. And we were like, well, if you learn bass, like, we need a bass guitarist. But we were like, as if you're going to learn bass. And then she went and did it, and she was good, and she got the job.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was sort of like an unintentional family band.
That is awesome. I love that story. So was there ever a backup plan? Was there ever if this doesn't pan out, like this Von Trapp family thing we got going on, if this doesn't pan out, what the fuck do I do? Like, did you ever have in your head?
Thinking about that.
Yeah, and I mean, not that it's ever not going to work out, because you guys are amazing and you're superstars, but was there ever in the back of your head, what's my backup plan? Like, what am I going to do? Like, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I don't know. It scares me to even think about it, because I just don't know what I would do. Probably, I don't know, something creative. It has to be creative. Yeah. I can't answer that question. I know George is really into acting. He initially was striving for an acting career, but the music kind of took over.
Yeah.
Emma's really good at like graphic design and like fashion. She's very good at. But this is all I do is write songs, and I don't know.
It's not all you do,
but I do a lot in that job. I'm like a hairdresser, I'm a makeup artist, I'm a dancer, all these roles, songwriter, expert traveller.
Important. Very important.
Yeah, so you do have to wear a lot of hats under this role.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I would maybe create some sort of business where I helped other people direct their careers or something.
Yeah. Well, you've probably got so many transferable skills through, and that are practical, because you've learnt so much along the way from what you guys are doing. So how long ago was it that the band started?
Well, that was 2009. Right. So 10 years ago. that George and I started writing music together. But with the current setup, it's been about 8 years. Yeah. So we've been going for a while now. We kind of, you know, we know our sound, we know who we are as a band, and we're all really good friends. And yeah, I'm excited to see where we go from here.
And so working with family, how's that? Do you guys ever fight? Have you had any epic Barneys?
Always, like every day, but it doesn't matter because we're family. We're like, we can say what we want to each other, and then in 10 minutes it's over, which is the best part of working with family. Best and worst part. Lots of fighting, but it's good because you can be honest with each other, get it all out, and you're not just, you know, tiptoeing around eggshells trying to like, oh, how can I say this without offending? You know, you just say it and it works really well. Yeah. But we get along well. We're really good friends. Obviously, you have to be. And throughout the years, like, we've ended up having like the same sort of friendship circle anyway, so that helps as well.
So when you guys create a song, a new song, how do you decide who is the main person? So like, you know, you watch all of your video clips and it seems to be that there's different people who tend to be the front of that. You know, you're all there, but there's somebody, you know, who's generally the lead in that. How does that come about? How do you work that out?
It's been a bit tricky because obviously I started the band, and then when we were writing, like, George just happened to be singing Geronimo. Well, obviously I was singing the Bombs Away bits, but so obviously everybody sort of looks to George as like the lead singer, which is good. It works well. People like it. But obviously I'm still a songwriter, and I write a lot of songs where I'm the lead singer as well. So it has been a little bit tricky trying to show everybody what we do, and that has been a bit of a challenge. But I think with Kiss My Fat Ass, it's been really nice to just, I guess, reach a few more people with one of my singles, even though we wrote it as Shepard, you know, where I'm the lead singer.
Yes. So how did that song come about?
So it started with the Instagram movement that I've done. It all started with one Instagram photo where I'm by the pool, and I was just looking back at my boyfriend. It was pretty candid, and he took the photo, and I was like, damn, take a photo of me and my babies without warning. Normally you have to pose perfectly.
I gotta pop the booty.
And it was midday, and the light is obviously like right
the
here.
The sun is bad.
And I had cellulite down the back of my legs. But I remember liking the photo except for that fact. So one day I was looking for a photo to upload, and I was like, oh god, the algorithm is gonna punish me if I don't post, and it's so just ridiculous. But that's the world we live in these days. And I came across the photo again, and I was like, oh, I've got to figure out how to post this. And I was like, I know.
Do I chop off my legs?
Like cropping it, changing the lighting, changing the filter. And then
black and white. Will black and white help this?
I was like, I know, Facetune. So and I never really used Facetune for my body. Like, I would use it on selfies because I was like, oh, it just makes you look like more professional, like up to Instagram standards, you know? And so that was just like normal, but for me. And then, but I'd never use it on my legs. Like, if I had cellulite in a photo, I just wouldn't upload it. And so it kind of shocked me when I caught myself airbrushing the cellulite from the back of my legs. I was like, the hell am I doing? Like, who have I become? Like, my insecurities have gotten that bad that I can't, here I am trying to hide what it is. Like, it's just, I have cellulite, and I'm not sure why I should be ashamed of it, or like, why is it a negative thing? And I started having all these questions in my head, and I just thought, I'm just going to post it as is and see what happens. So I just said something like, feast your eyes on a bit of dimple action, like, here it is. And then it quickly became like my most liked photos, and I was getting people commenting like, we need to see more of this, we love this. And that's when I realized that people related to it, and people are really craving a bit of normality on social media.
And realness.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I heard a really interesting, and I don't know whether it was a quote or whether I heard somebody say it, but anyway, it went along the lines of, your weight is the least interesting thing about you.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, fuck, that is so true. And I think for me, over time, I give less fucks. I give way less fucks as I get older. And it appears that you are starting to give way less fucks as well.
I just wish, like, my goal for this whole thing is to try and instill that into younger people. You know, give less fucks, because how you look is such a little part of who you are and what you have to offer, yet so many people are focusing so much on how they look and they can't focus on anything else. Like, they can't focus on their skills or learning or education because they're worried about how they look in a photo.
And it's okay to want to look a certain way, but be okay with who you are. Like, it's okay to focus on how you look, but that is how you look. Like, and that's cool. You know, like, I feel like over time, probably 10 years ago, there's no way in the world I would have felt comfortable being on the beach in a cheeky cut bikini because of the cellulite on the back of my thighs or the dimples in my butt. And now I just think, I've got 2 arms, 2 legs. I can run around at the beach. I can have a good time.
Like, can you remember a single person at the beach besides your immediate group of friends? Like, no, you don't care about anybody else.
And also, who cares? Like, I have a 4-year-old and I am acutely aware of having a positive, strong body image around her because my body's not perfect. There's stretch marks. There's dimples. It's all fine. Yeah. I have a functioning body. I'm fit. I'm strong. I'm healthy. That's actually what matters. My body does what I need it to do. So the fact that I've got stretch marks because I, kept you alive by breastfeeding you for a number of years, and I've got some cellulite on my ass because that's just where it likes to hang out. I mean, I've got dimples in my cheeks. Yeah. Why are they cool and the ones in my ass aren't cool?
Yeah, it should be celebrated because it's proof that you've lived and proof that you've given life and you've given meals to babies and it's like amazing. It's an amazing thing. So I'm not sure where the negativity around cellulite, stretch marks and scars came from. These are like amazing, stripes that like warrior stripes, and we should be like cheering them on, not hiding them.
But they are what they are too. Like they don't affect who you are as a person. They don't affect whether you're a kind person, whether you're a good person, whether you're a generous person, whether you can be successful in life, whether you can lift heavy things off the floor. Like your cellulite has no bearing on that.
Yeah, not at all.
It's interesting. Where do you think your insecurities around that came from?
I think it was well before the band started. I was about 8 years old. That's when I first remember being self-conscious about my body.
Really?
Or maybe earlier, I'm not sure. But around the age of about 8, 9, 10, I started to put on weight. And I would say, in the category of obese by the time I was a teenager.
Okay.
And of course, with that comes bullying, negative self-image. I had zero confidence. Couldn't even, by the time I went to high school, I went to an all-girls school and it was just crippling for me because
girls are bitches.
And I just couldn't fit in because I also came from Papua New Guinea, and coming to Australia to an all-girls boarding school was like a huge shock to the system, and I just didn't know who I was at all. I couldn't relate to any of these people and I was just like a shell of a person. So although eventually I did start sport and I really fell in love with training, I lost the weight, but insecurities don't just go away because you've lost weight, and they've stuck with me for a really, really long time. And although I have improved my self-confidence and obviously starting a band and getting out there on stage, you have to learn to talk to people and learn to be on stage, and all of that helps, but there was always this like bad self-talk about the way I looked, and I was never happy with how I looked. Inner mean girl was like rampant. I would call myself like a beast, and like if I didn't fit into my size, whatever, I was just.
But you're not even a big human being. Like,
no,
you're smoking crack. You're just.
Yeah, and that has obviously created a lot of criticism for me inside of this movement, but I'm still valid to my insecurities.
Absolutely.
And what I want to instill in people is don't leave it too late before you start to love your body. Like, love it now. Don't waste another day, because starting this movement has healed me in ways that I could have never imagined. I never set out to do it, but I'm so glad, because I'm such a happy person that I'm not dieting and I'm not not caring about what other people think of me. If my jeans don't fit anymore, I'm like, oh, okay, well,
get new ones.
Or,
ain't nobody got time for that sort of negativity in jeans. You're gone.
Yeah, although I'm really into my health, and I'm just doing a bit of that like intuitive eating. It's like, okay, well, if you don't finish your jeans and I don't want to keep on putting on more and more weight, I'm kind to myself now, and it's easier, and I've stayed in the same pair of jeans, which is amazing because I'm always like up and down and up and down. I've got like 14 different pairs of jeans in my cupboard because I can't, not sure what size I am. And it's just been a relief, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what I was going to ask you is around that whole movement now that you've created. Have you encountered many people trolling you and being negative about that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, there's always a troll or two. But this has been, quite.
And what are they upset about? Because I mean, like I just said, you're not somebody who's overweight, but you're entitled to feel however you feel about your body. You're entitled to have whatever thoughts you have about it, and you're entitled to share that with other people.
Yeah.
And somebody could be a size 6 and still have cellulite.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose around that is that you're sharing that. You're not filtering it. You're not pretending that it's not there. You're saying, here it is. Here's my body. It's strong. It's fit. It's healthy. And it still has cellulite. And it's fine.
Yeah.
So what is the negativity around that?
The negativity is that I'm not a plus size.
Right.
And they've used, you're not fat. You can't use the word fat because it's not yours to claim. So that's their argument. But
just because... I mean, I'm not fat. I have fat.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, am I not allowed to use the word?
No, apparently not. Right. But to me, and body positivity was created for larger women to empower their largeness and take away the negative connotations with the word fat. And I understand that, but body positivity is for everybody in my eyes, and we can make such an impact if we all work together and, change the perceptions of all women's bodies, not just large women, because that's secluding one group. Do you know what I mean? We want to include everybody, and that's what I'm working towards. And, they've given me criticism because there's not enough fat people in my film clip, in the music video for this. And I'm like, what's your definition of fat? That's a blurred line right there. And I just think I'm okay to handle the criticism, but when they start criticizing the girls in the clip, that's when I get quite angry.
Yeah. So how did you choose the people who you asked to be in that clip? Because it's awesome.
Thank you. They actually weren't chosen on how they looked at all.
Yeah.
I chose these women because of their abilities and their amazing attitudes and the incredible things they're doing. They're inspiring for me and many other women around the world, and that's why they're chosen, not because they're fat or skinny or black or white or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's too many blonde girls in this clip, and you're standing here and they're standing there, and I'm like, you guys are looking way too much into this. You're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
It's about including, everybody around the world, and it's not about. I'm not trying to exclude anybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, the way I chose these women were just by connecting with them on Instagram, or they're women who are in my life already who inspire me, and. Monique, who is the Paralympian in the clip.
Oh yeah, she was awesome.
She's so cool. It was actually like a universe coming together moment, because I really did want someone who was doing something cool in the disability world, but I couldn't think of anyone that I followed, which was actually really concerning to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to connect with a few more people here, and then. As I was thinking this, I was driving down the road and there was all these Paralympians, and I was like, it was just across the road from my hairdresser, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a weird thing, like, but they're all male.
Yeah.
It's like, there must be some sort of connection going on.
Right.
And then anyway, I pulled into the hairdresser, I was sitting there, and my friend runs in. She's like, Amy, oh my god, like I can't believe you're here. I just came in to tell Jules, the hairdresser, that there's all these women with prosthetic limbs across the road, and you should ask one of them to be in your film clip. And I was like, yeah, like I definitely should. And so she ran over and asked all the girls, and only one of them was from Brisbane, and that was Mon, and she was stoked to be asked. And
that is awesome.
So it was just like sort of meant to be with Monique, I feel. Anyway, that's a bit of a rambling story, but does it make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another person who I think you would really love, who I follow on Instagram, her name's Jessica Smith.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of her before. She was also a Paralympian. She is missing the bottom part of her left arm, I think. So she's kind of got from here up from her arm, and she was a swimmer.
Yeah.
She's now a mum of 2 kids, and she's pregnant with her third. And she talks a lot about body image and stuff like that. She had eating disorders and all that sort of stuff after she was an Olympian and an athlete. And now, you know, as a mum, she's incredible. She's an incredibly inspiring woman. But yes, you would love her. She's really, really ace.
Cool.
So I showed G the film clip to the new song because she loves the band. She loves all the songs. Yeah. It rocks out. Anyway, I said, "Oh, do you want to see Shepard's new song?" She goes, "Yeah." Anyway, I showed her. So she sat there the whole time, just transfixed, watching it. And I said, "So what did you think, G?" And I'm thinking, what's she going to say? She goes, "I really like Amy's blue hair."
Oh, isn't that sweet?
So there's you know, like 20 women dancing around in their underwear, and she's like,
it's
"No, that's fine."
Because she hasn't been conditioned to think that anything's odd about that or unique about that.
She's just like, "Yeah, that's cool. I have no opinion on anything else except that I really like Amy's blue hair."
Isn't that beautiful?
And it just sort of made me realise, at what point do we change? Like, at what point does that change? And I think, why is it so different between males and females? Like, I think back to people like Marilyn Monroe in history. 1,000,000% sure that woman had cellulite. Yet she is one of the most incredibly, you know, powerful women in history. She was a sex symbol. People just thought she was just the most glamorous, divine thing. She had cellulite. Absolutely. And she was always getting around in a swimsuit and gorgeous outfits with zero fucks to give about having cellulite. Men thought she was incredible. Women thought she was incredible. Why has it changed? Like, why now are we so obsessed with this bizarre image of perfection and what that even means?
Yeah, well, it is just media and what is fed to us. And obviously that has changed throughout history. And it's hard to keep up with it as women. We're trying to always keep up with what's in trend and what's fashionable because we just want to be liked, you know? And I guess increasingly now it's seen with men because they want the six-pack and they want, you know, they're shamed for having dad bods. And so now they're getting a taste of their own medicine. But yeah, it's not good. I don't know. I think it's media and marketing. And, you know, a couple of years ago, it was really cool to be like a beanpole, like no boobs, you have to be very skinny. And now it's like you've got to have the big bum and the big lips. And it's hard to always keep up with these trends. And your body shouldn't be a trend, in my opinion. It's like everybody's so unique and different. And I just wish, people didn't focus so much emphasis or have so much emphasis on how you look, and it should be what you can do and what you can offer this world.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of negative things, like, you know, there's a lot of negativity in the media and social media and all that sort of stuff that creates this image of what we think we should look like. But do you think that there's any things that are happening that are actually helping to create a lot of positivity around that? Like, I see things like that whole insurgence of CrossFit, I think really contributed in a positive way to making women feel more comfortable with curves.
Yeah, and powerful.
Being strong, and it's okay to be strong. And honestly, there is some of the fittest women in the world out there as CrossFit athletes who have got some cellulite on their thighs. But fuck, they can lift some shit and they can move fast. And these women are, you know, potentially some of the best athletes on the planet.
Yeah, and they're beating the boys in some of the, you know, the
absolutely
heats, which is amazing to see.
So I feel like things like that have really helped to encourage people to realize that it doesn't really matter about your body shape. And that's one of the things I love about CrossFit, is that you could be someone who is an incredible runner, but you go and do CrossFit and you're going to be ratchet. You might be great in a gassy workout, but come to anything where you've got to move heavy things, you're scaling. Like, it really, I think, helps. It helps with ego, but it also is so inclusive in so many ways that people who, you know, aren't great runners or don't have that really great fast twitch muscle fiber can go to CrossFit and they can lift heavy things. And still achieve. I think CrossFit, you know, I think it attracts a certain type of personality, and I think it can be too much for some people, and people can get super obsessed about it, which is why it's a total cult. But I think there's a lot of body positivity and inclusiveness of all types of different bodies that has come from that whole CrossFit movement.
Yeah,
I think that's super positive.
Yeah.
But do you think, like, is there any other things that you have noticed that have really sort of helped or are currently helping with this whole, you know, body image positivity and inclusiveness and this, you know, the less of that whole everybody needs to be a being pole?
Yeah, I definitely think people are really awakening up to the media tricks that have been going on, and people aren't really accepting things. If they know that it's been airbrushed, people reject it, which is really nice, or it's increasingly becoming like that. It's very trendy now to be you know, inclusive in your advertising, which is nice, but I want to see more of it. I want to see more diversity, and it's not everywhere yet, but you can see it peeking through, and I'm loving all of the body positivity you know, Instagrammers of all sizes and of all you know, all genders and all races as well. It's really nice to see the diversity there creeping through, and they're popular and they're amazing, and and that's what one of my biggest tips is for people to follow people who are diverse and who are opening your eyes, people who are interesting, not just, you know, sitting on a beach like, oh, look at me, you know, and that really helps with self-confidence.
Absolutely. And I think Instagram initially was a place where everything was so picture perfect, and it just started to make you feel shit about yourself, really.
Yeah.
Because that's not what everyone's life looks like. And to be honest, that's not what that person's life looks like. Right. That is a snapshot second of their day where everything has been staged and they just spent 3 hours doing their hair and makeup. The rest of their day does not look like that. And
you can't blame them, because they're, you know, in this era, people are just like open to criticism and feedback, you know, instant feedback and criticism, so they're acutely aware of all how they look all the time. So you can't blame them, because they're getting likes and followers from all of these posts. But is it really adding value? I think people are kind of realizing, like, okay, here's another photo, like, what value can you give me now?
Yeah, and I think, though, there is a lot more people like you, I think, who are starting to break that mold and let Instagram be their place of being real. And I want the photos to still look nice, because they need to be visually appealing to people. They can't be, you know, the middle of the night with no lights on.
Yeah.
They need to be appealing, but they can still be real.
Right.
And I think there's a lot more of that happening. There's some really great people out there who are keeping life real. They're showing some beautiful snapshots, but they're also showing the real, raw side of their life. They're putting up the photo that they liked, even though they have a dimple on their butt.
Oh, shocking.
Or even though they didn't have any makeup on, or any of that sort of stuff. I think it's actually really refreshing. And I have started to notice as well with my Instagram, every week I unfollow people, and they're people who, I don't know initially why I was following them, but they're people who I just think, you do not make me feel good about myself.
I don't relate to you at all.
Absolutely. And that's it, I think, isn't it? You're unrelatable to me. You're not adding value to my life. And I'm not buying skinny tea.
Yeah.
I've never bought skinny tea, and I'm not going to buy skinny tea. So
I still have people messaging me, hey, do you want to collaborate? I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Like,
But it's ridiculous, isn't it? But I think it is more refreshing. I think there is more and more people out there who are starting to bring more realness into the world. They're starting to show not just the highlight reel of their life. So what's the dream moving forward? Like, what are you hoping to achieve with this movement?
This is such an interesting question, because I'm not sure. I'm just taking it every day as it comes. And I did, you know, when I first started it, I wasn't setting out to start anything. Like, I just wanted to share a cool...
Stirring up some shit.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm a body positivity ambassador.
Influencer.
So I just... I wanted to write the song and present the song, because I did want to make that something bigger and greater with that message and send it out to more people. So that's where I'm up to now, is just promoting the song, promoting the video clip so more people can see it, and you know, join this celebration of individuality. And I'm not sure where it goes from here. Like, it could go anywhere. But I'm taking it every day as it comes. I'm continuing to upload the Instagram photos with my captions, and yeah, we'll see. I'm not too sure. Any suggestions are welcome. Like, I'd love to know what you guys want.
World domination.
World domination. I'll work on that one.
Absolutely. Maybe I feel like there's so much space to get this, like, worldwide domination, you know, to work with other people who are being equally as awesome as you are and being totally real. Yeah. And sharing that whole message. I feel like this is going to be big.
I'd love to do more collaborating with people who are in the same space. But we'll see. That hasn't come across yet. It hasn't come across my path, but I'm sure it will. And I'll just do what I've done with the band and take it each day at a time and move forward in little steps.
I think you would be amazing at speaking to young girls in high schools.
Yes.
Is that something you have ever done?
I've never done it. I'm a terrible public speaker, and everyone's like, you need to go to public speaking for this, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. I should. I know I should get better at it because it scares the shit out of me.
I think that's just your inner mean girl.
It scares the shit out of me.
Really?
Public speaking, yeah. Even now I'm like, this is pretty public Facebook, but
I was the same. And actually, if I think about talking in front of a big group, I get like full sweaty hands, massive anxiety.
I hate it.
Yeah. I used to be the same.
Shaky voice, like, oh no, can't.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get up there and have the shaky voice. Like, no, I want to get out there and be confident, but you can't get there until you take little steps. So
I know, but mate, you've got blue hair. You're hardly a wallflower.
I know. I can be so extroverted in some ways and really I'm actually an introverted person.
Me too. Actually,
it's quite daunting. The thought of even like high school people, it's quite daunting to me. But I think if I prepared myself a little bit, then I would feel a lot better about it. So I think maybe I should just spend a little bit of time like creating the story and making sure it's like, you know, get my ducks in a row.
You know what though? You know what I have found with public speaking? The thing for me is when I prepare, that's when I feel more nervous.
Really?
When I have stuff that's written down and I feel like I've got to follow a path or a schedule, for me that is the hardest thing, which is hence why I have no notes for this interview. Because I feel like that structure makes me feel like it's not authentic.
Yeah, sure.
And for you, what you can share and talk about with people is so authentic to you. Like, it's who you are, it's your experience with life, and that doesn't need to be practiced. Like, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
Like,
I think what scares me is it's not a conversation, it's not a back and forth, it's just me talking.
Yes, which I think is definitely more challenging.
Yes.
Which is definitely more challenging. But potentially the concept of a panel.
Yeah, actually I've booked in for a couple of panels,
Awesome.
Which is a good start, but I haven't booked in for like a TED Talk speech yet.
Yeah.
Because I've actually declined a couple because
Really?
not a TED Talk, but a couple of things because I'm just not ready and I don't want to say yes, and you know, obviously there is money in these things. I'm like, oh my god, no, like not ready for that.
Yeah.
So I'll get there and decide what I want to do in the future, but at this stage I'm just doing like little panels, and I think growing my confidence in that.
Perfect.
Pushing the boundaries little bit by little bit.
I think you would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So I will make sure I tag all of the places where people can find you once I pop this up on YouTube. But is there anything else you want to share with people? What's next? And what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
What do you want them to do to help you share this movement?
I would love for you guys to first of all, check out the video clip on YouTube, check out the song on iTunes, and share it if you love it. And also, if you're brave enough, share a photo of yourself without filters or without airbrushing or without fear. And use the hashtag #KissMyFatAss, and I'd love to see it.
Absolutely. And that doesn't even necessarily need to be a photo of, their cellulite or anything like that. Just a photo without makeup. If you're somebody who is always feeling so self-conscious and making sure that, or you put a filter on your face every time that you take a photo or whatever, just try it without.
Exactly. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's #KissMyFatAss, must be like uploading, pictures of your body, but it's not. It's about exactly what you said, saying like no to, all this makeup on your selfies and the face tuning, and just yeah, it's just injecting a bit of reality into Instagram, and just because it's a ripple effect. As soon as you do it, someone else is going to see that and be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's so important for us to not even just focus on, you know, the women of this generation, but all of these young girls who, you know, like we're living in this world now where you can have a quick fix for everything. You got small boobs, you can get bigger ones. You got small lips, you can get bigger ones in your lunch break.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
It's this ridiculous quick fix, and I have nothing against any cosmetic surgery that anyone wants to get done. You do you. But if you're doing it because you think somebody else thinks you're going to be better when you do that, that's not cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just sort of this, it's taken away, you know, people now are like, I've put on some weight, so I'm just going to go and get the fat sucked out of my legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, maybe just eat some more veggies and move your body in whatever way feels good for you when you have the time to do it. And it might take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. But you can get your body to a healthier place.
And you're going to feel better for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, I think there's, you know, I think I worry for G's generation of young girls with what are they going to be exposed to.
It's scary.
And like you mentioned before, young men as well. You know, it's not just females.
No.
I think this stuff affects men, and probably more than what we even realise.
Yeah.
As well.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I think the more that people can just be positive about their body and appreciate it for what it can do and what it is, as opposed to, you know, chasing this ridiculous idea of whatever that perfection is.
Yeah, because we're amazing humans, and what we can do is so like great. You can change the world if you want to, but you can't do that. You can't live your life to the fullest if you're worried about how you look all the time.
Your cellulite is the least interesting thing about you.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thanks,
we will get this up on YouTube later on today.